Hi, everyone. All right. Well, it is Monday. It's not our usual day. Let's see. Hi, Brooke. All right. No, we are still doing our normal Wednesday. In fact, In fact, this is why we're going live now, because I already have like scheduled planned stuff for Wednesday, but I had a lot of interest in this particular page and posts, reels, whatever else. Right, Danielle? And I was just like, well, dang, I don't want to have to wait to finish coloring this one until like next month. So I was just like, okay, we've got a little bit of time before Tanya goes live this evening. She's going to be going live at, well, it's going to be 6 my time. So we have like a little under an hour and a half. And honestly, I debated about going live earlier, but kiddos had some school projects they need to help with, and I still had some normal Monday work stuff I had to get done. But I was like, okay, if I can get it all done, I can squeeze in a live stream right before Tanya today. So, and it is this page. I've been working this one on my own, but the reason that I am doing this page, because I had, sorry, it's also been like my words are all over the place. I got a super awesome, very surprise happy mail. So those of you that have been here in the last week, you know that I was working on Serene, and I usually save any of my Lumis for Serene. But I had a lovely, lovely viewer, Marcy, who had extras of these. She already had the larger set, and she said she wasn't using these and that I might make pretty good use of them. So I have been just going to town. I don't normally use them on a Johanna book because it's so small, but they were so special. And the new colors, these are the new, well, it's empty now because I have them in a zip up case. But these are the new 20 colors, and I hadn't experienced any of these colors yet. So this is the old chart. This is the old chart. And let's see, we're gonna pull this out. Hi, Emily. This is the old chart, and this is the new chart. So this is the one that I have on my website. Now, I hadn't filled it out myself before, and eventually when I get these 4 extra, because you can get these in the 100 set or you can buy them separately. Oddly enough, I couldn't find these 4 on Blick or Jerry's Artarama, but I did find them on Colt Pens. So one of these days, I'm gonna get the other 4, and I'm gonna fill the rest of this in. And when I do, I will probably rearrange this, because I'm not gonna lie, I'm not totally thrilled. Right, Emily? I'm not totally thrilled with the color order, but for the sake of my sanity, I was like, you know what? There's no point in rearranging these until I have those colors, because I'll want to fit them in naturally. Hi, Dawn. So anyway, wait a minute. Where did I set my zipper case? Hold up. Hold up. I thought I was all like ready to go, and then I was moving stuff around. So anyway, I was just like, well, this seems perfect. We'll go live. Okay, I'm also just, oh, it's right here. I was looking for the wrong color case. That's what the issue was. Anyway, but I was just like, you know what? I've been coloring this page, and I had a lot of questions about like the background and the dresser portion of it, and just a couple other things. So I was just like, you know what? This seems like a good opportunity, because although I did film a time lapse of me coloring this section, I did not write down the names of the pencils. Now, granted, they're all over here. You can see them. But it would be so hard for me to, hi, Heather. It would be so hard for me to figure out which pencils I use, because I was just coloring it just for filming for a reel. So here is my question. Hi, Yvonne. Yes, I'm here. Hi, Sherry. Let's see. Oh, wait, what did I have to clear out my computer? Oh, I hope you feel better, Heather. I feel you on that one. I was down and out yesterday for that. So here's my question. I'm thinking that we'll do this section and some of it, and then I think I'm gonna film separately for the sky. So for the live, because I don't know that we will do words on stream, just because I have less time today than I would normally, just because I don't want to overlap anyone. So I want to focus on the whole reason that we're here, and that is for doing some color palettes here. So my plan for the drawers, I did a rainbow colors. Here, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. And then my idea for the background on the, what would you call this? An armoire? It's not a chest of drawers. What would you call this piece of furniture? I feel like it's got a specific name. It's not a china cabinet. I don't know, what would you call it? Anyway, I'm thinking for the second one, we're gonna do, so we have red, orange, we're gonna do yellow, green, and then we'll probably do blue, violet in this background of it. But what I think I wanna focus on right now is doing some of this green, kind of teal. Hi, Mona. And then we're going to do the background, and we're gonna work on some of these jars. I know this isn't like a full color along, but I had a lot of people, I had messages, I had comments across all platforms. So a hutch, thank you, Sherry, that's what it was. Awesome, Brooke. Ooh, taco pasta. Nice. I have no idea what we're doing for dinner tonight. Steve's gonna come home while I'm streaming, and we will deal with that then. So I'm probably gonna go until probably just before 6 o'clock, which is hour and 15 minutes from now. So we're gonna jump in and we're gonna get started coloring. Now, most of the colors, I don't think I have any of the Hutch. Well, I had some of them. Okay, so for the Hutch colors, we are going to do dark sap green. Now for these designs that are on the outside, the little, let's zoom in a little bit, the little circles, let's see, are we in focus? Let's get in focus. There we go. For the little circles, I will probably do these because they're so small with gel pens. Same thing with the little tacks that are holding up the banners. So for the Hutch, we are going to we're gonna grab the new color chart, a kitchen dresser in the UK. Yeah, I like that. I think that makes sense. So for this one, we used the, let's see, 225. It was one of the new green colors. Let's see. Oh no, 212. That's what we used. The chromium oxide green, the middle verdigris is I think how you would pronounce it. And then also dark sap green. So there's those. We're also going to grab, we used a gray, or I keep saying I used a gray. There's no one in this office but me and you guys now. But when I was doing it, so put this color chart underneath here. Okay. All right. So we are going to start with this. And like I said, this just seemed like a good alternative to, hi Pamela. Yes, it's totally like, I know, like not normally, and I'm kind of in the middle, like all the UKers are going to bed and our Aussies are all still asleep. So we've got this like weird kind of limbo time in the day where, you know, some people are still kind of up if they're up late. And then, you know, there's the US, those of us trying to, you know, wrap up our work day and start dinner. So I'm well aware this is a weird, awkward time, but tomorrow was not a possibility. And I was like, you know what, we're gonna do it. People can watch it back if they can't make it. It's okay. So we are gonna go ahead and start with the dark sap green. I love this color. The color that I had before was so short for it, and I was just like, oh, it's a little baby pencil. But we are going to bring the green up. We're gonna do under here, and then we'll bring it up to right about here. I'm not gonna do the full thing because I want to use our time that we have wisely here. So we're gonna bring it along here, make sure I'm not missing anyone. So yeah, I know it's totally, we used to do Monday evenings all the time, but the difference between this Monday and other Mondays is it is President's Day. It was a day off from school, so there isn't any crazy running around. Usually about this time, I'm just like getting in the door from picking up the kids and trying to deal with that chaos. And then we got kiddos off to after school programs and everything. So yeah, it's a special President's Day special live stream. That's what it is. We could probably zoom in a little bit more. There we go. But yeah, so I mean, you guys know how much I love color on my pages. So this just seemed perfect. All right, so let's see. We're gonna bring this up along here. But it's just something that I was kind of coloring on my own, and then I took the opportunity to video for some reels here. It was really interesting though. So I've been doing the standard kind of, ooh, you should, Pamela. I've been doing the kind of standard small clips, you know, and the video itself is like, you know, really no more than 30 seconds max for the reels. And it just got me thinking, like, of course, some of them will get picked up faster depending on what Instagram chooses to show people that day. But I put a poll in my stories asking everyone, do they prefer, you know, time lapse or smaller clips with shorter videos, or just, you know, they just like videos. And hi, Carol. And the funny thing is that the time lapse and the you just like videos option is winning out in the poll over the standard kind of reel template. So if you want, you can go vote on that poll over on Instagram. But it just got me thinking about it. I was just like, well, gosh, maybe we should be doing more time lapse. Hi, Sarah. I didn't know I was streaming today either. There you go, Pamela. I didn't know either. It was just kind of a sudden, I told the kids, I was like, we have school projects to do and we have regular work stuff to do. If we can get it all done, then Mama will do live stream and the kids get to do screen time. So they're like, okay. So they were running around and we were doing chores, and I was just like, we We got to get situated. All right, so this is 212 right across. So for the main part of this hutch, it's just those two colors. Okay, now we're gonna go in with the 739 dark sap green again. But yeah, and I just like, I don't know that I could do, like I have the full video of, you know, real time for this part, but anytime I've ever posted a color along, people want the color numbers and names, which is totally acceptable, but I just didn't have it. I was like, it would give me a headache trying to remember what I used. Like, I used a red one and a yellow one and a blue one. Ta-da! But yeah, so I was just like, let's just do a live and we'll get some coloring done. And of course this page still has a long way to go, and I'm gonna do the sky. I'm probably gonna film that, and I'm gonna take note of the colors that I use for that one. We're using 212, and I will do a little tutorial on that. I'm not worried about covering up the little designs because we're gonna use gel pen on that. All right, so now let's see. I'm trying to remember, did I do? I think I did. We're gonna go ahead and do the blender now. And if I seem like I'm talking fast or I'm kind of all over the place, it's just because literally that's the way today's been. So like, there's no coffee fueling me. Well, I mean, I did have coffee earlier, but that was earlier today. This is my getting lots of things done during the day speed. I was thinking for these jars up above though, rather than doing a bunch of like the same rainbow colors in each one, there's enough here. We could do red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. Like we could do, each jar could be its own color rather than the rainbow colors. But we're gonna do the background first because we wanna get that background showing through the jars. Because although it's light, if you look closely at the jars here, you'll see that the background is kind of showing through it, because it only makes sense to me just because they're glass jars, so they're gonna show through a little bit. All right, we're gonna sweep that away. Clearly it's not looking the same yet, but it's getting there. This colors usually go with blue combination with polychromos, but this is pretty, right? I know, I was trying to think, I was just like, well, we're gonna have, oh, wrong one. We're gonna have a blue sky, we've got rainbows, plus light. I don't know, the green just made sense. I almost thought about doing all brown, but I was like, no, I want more colors. Okay, so now we're gonna do middle verdigris, I think is how you pronounce it, and it is number 713. And now we're gonna use that over the top of all the green, and it's gonna help kind of blend that all together. Now, granted, if I was coloring this on my own, I would probably be going a little bit slower and taking my time a bit more. So don't feel like if you're following along or you're doing a version of this, don't feel like you need to go as fast as me, because on my own, I would probably be just really, I don't know, when I'm coloring just for my, for me and not for like doing any kind of tutorial, I probably slow down quite a bit, and just like all these little white bits that you would get next to the line that maybe didn't get quite covered, like I really take my time and I fill all of those in. I'll sit and kind of hum and haw about, you know, the color palette and what I'm using. There's just a lot of back and forth. And yeah, just taking my time. Kind of just relaxing and zoning out, listen to an Audible book or something and just chill. Hi, Mary Kay. Yes, this was very impromptu. I'd like to try and do these, you know, more often, but sometimes the schedule just doesn't allow for it. All right, so now we're gonna do 507, which is Payne's Gray 60%. And this is where we're gonna start to add in some of our shadow. The lead, I sharpened it a little too sharp. So we're gonna put a little bit out there, and we're gonna be coming back in with our dark sap green after this as well. But this is where we're gonna start laying in some of that dimension. Okay, I'll need to fix that little flag a little bit later because I went over it just a bit. Okay, so, and this is kind of the same gray that I used along the inside to show a little bit of shadow with the background. Ah, thank you, Barbara! Barbara, you were my inspiration for today. How are you, Barbara? Barbara, what time is it for you? I got enough of my work done today. I was like, you know what? I think we could squeeze it in. So we're going for just a little while today till like 6 o'clock. So we have like an hour and 5 minutes left that we're gonna stream. But I was just like, you know what? Got everything done. I'm all caught up. We got the kids' school projects done. I was like, I got a little bit of time. We're gonna make this work. It's midnight. Oh my goodness. All right, let's see. Dark sap green. I was saying earlier that this was kind of like a weird time because it's you know, the Aussies are asleep still, and UKers and everybody in that time zone, it's like it's time to go to bed or a little bit later. So yeah, I was just like, well, it's a bit of an awkward time, but we can make it work. All right, now we're gonna use the 212 again. Tanya, hi. Ooh, awesome, Brooke. Yes, Wednesday, it's still gonna be normal stream time, and we are gonna be doing the February for the event. The month is almost over, but it's gonna be my image, and there's going to be giveaways as well. And you know what I might do? Even though the sale that I did at the beginning of the month is over, since we're gonna be coloring the page again, I might go ahead and run another sale just on the event pages. So if you haven't got it, oh no, oh no. All right, so we're gonna do 713, the middle verdigris. I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong. And that's just gonna be one last kind of blend through the hutch here. And then, like I said, later, not now, because I'm gonna be coloring this next portion up here and I don't want to smear the gel pen. I'll be doing gel pen on it. And I'll probably use the super glitter gel pen or the Sleechy metallic gel pen. Or if I really can't find the color I want, I'll do the, got some Ain Art gel pens that I broke out. How are you, Tanya? Okay, and if you're not following Tanya, you should be. She's gonna go live at 6 o'clock. So we're gonna wrap up right before she does and before she goes live. So that'll be a good place for you to head over to when you're done. Got a little bit of a glare there, but that's basically the color that I did here. I think later I might go in and spend a little bit more time with the gray and lay in the shadows a little bit more, but I really wanna get to the middle part of the hutch here. So what we have is we got all of these jars. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now in my head, I'm imagining that these are all glass and that these are trapped rainbows inside. I am doing well. How are you? Well, you just said you're good. You're all right. Sorry, I'm defaulty mode. Okay, so we did red and orange. We're gonna do yellow and green for this one, but because we already have a green hutch, I'm gonna do a lighter green so that it's not blending in so much. So we're gonna go ahead and grab yellow ochre. We're gonna do medium cadmium yellow. Oh, we might do lemon yellow. So let's grab our case here. So let's see. Yellow ochre. We're gonna do a little bit darker yellow. Let's zoom out while I'm grabbing these. I've got some colors here already. Okay, so, and I actually ordered a larger case because I want to be able to keep all of the Lumies together plus the backups. So I was just like, yeah, we need a slightly bigger one. So I think I got like, who goes on after you? Tanya. Yes, Tanya. So appetite for color. Sorry, I realized appetite for color, and she is on after that. Of course, of course. Lance says there is 17 and your coloring is beautiful. Aw, thanks. All right, so lemon yellow and yellow ochre, and then we're gonna move from lemon yellow and yellow ochre to spring green for sure. That's a nice bright light color. And then we're definitely gonna do some grass green, but we're gonna go really light with it because we obviously don't want it to be that bright. Let's grab our longer one for this. And then let's leave it there for now and see how it looks. So we're gonna slow down a little bit. I went kind of faster on the hutch, but we're gonna slow down a little bit because we're gonna do a number of layers because we want to blend these into one another. Now this is a really bright green. I don't want it to end up this bright on the other side, but I also wanted to show that it's a little bit different than the spring green. So what we're probably gonna end up doing is we're gonna be taking our white and layering over the top to make it almost more of a pastel green. And then we'll bring in some of the gray to show in some of the shadow. So we are going to start with our yellow ochre. And for this first pass of our layers, we're gonna go ahead and add color behind the jars as well. And then once we add layers, we'll stop adding behind the jars. Almost, Barbara. Oh my goodness. So Marcy was amazing and she had extras of the Lumies and she surprised me with it. So she sent a set of 40, which gave me backups for some colors I've been so sadly without. And then the set of the new 20 colors that came out before they had the full 100 set. She had been gifted the 100 set for Christmas, and she said these were just sitting around, and I was just like mind blown. I like audibly in the post office was just like, oh my gosh, people were looking at me like I was crazy. So yes, it's not quite the full set, but I am just like over the moon. I can't believe it. So at some point I'm gonna order the missing 4 from Colt Pens. And I just realized the office light is not even on. I've got my desk lights, but not the main light. If we wanna just, you know, sit in a cave, it's all good. I don't know how much that did, but. It is a random surprise live, Alex. We're gonna be, oh, I just bumped the mic. We're gonna be going for about another hour or so, and then Tanya's gonna come on. But I was just like, we can squeeze in here and do a little bit of this. All right, so we're gonna do yellow ochre. Melissa, what is going on? Everyone's so confused. It's a surprise live. It's a surprise live. I wasn't gonna have time to live stream this until next month, and so I was like, no, you know what, we're just gonna do a quick little live here. So I am not going over where the rainbows are, but I am going where the clear glass is gonna be, and it'll end up being lighter like these ones when we do it. Well, I mean, to be fair, you could fold laundry. I mean, who said? No one said that. Hi, Christina. No worries, Brooke. Enjoy your dinner. I know, it just falls in that weird time. I don't think I'd normally choose this time, but I was like, it'll work. All right, so now we're gonna go with the lemon yellow. Okay. And the lids, I think I'll leave without. I'll say that those are solid color. But we are gonna go for the areas of the jars that are clear. Pixie cow, chicken, goose, mouse, bug, print, what? Is that Tanya's full thing? Laura's a wonder, I couldn't believe thanks, Barbara. Well, I was just glad to be able to squeeze it in. Like I said, I had like projects, I was doing a school project with little Steve today, and I was just like, okay, if we can get this done, then I will live stream. But I was like, that's to do my responsibilities first. Oh, nice, Danielle. It's forever growing. You'll be like those people with like your driver's license will just need to be giant to fit all of the names. All right, so now we're gonna do grass green. And again, we're gonna go really light because this is a very vibrant green. We still wanted this kind of rich green, and we didn't quite wanna do like a pastel green or any of the warmer greens, but we are gonna go really light. I'm gonna say that that's glass. It's okay if I went over the rainbows a little bit. It's not that big of a deal. When we start layering on more, which I'm only going over the rainbows because my hand is jumping all over the place today because I was doing a ton of stuff. But now I know that technically those bottles are behind it, but I am just rolling with it. Okay, so real light here. Now we're gonna go in with our spring green. My phone doesn't say you have to type it all. It's so funny, like when my phone chooses not to remember certain words. Like when I'm texting Steve and I say something about the kids and my phone doesn't remember, I'm almost like offended. Like, come on, phone, of all the names you should know, it should be my kids' names. I type them all the time. Okay, so that is just our first layer. Now we're gonna go back because we've kind of mapped out where the sections are. So now we're gonna overlap some more, and we're gonna just kind of blend them all together. I know it's super light, but we're gonna be going from this to something as vibrant as that. So now we're gonna use the yellow ochre again, number 34. We're not gonna press super hard, but we are pressing a little bit harder than what we were at the beginning. We'll go a little bit more of that yellow ochre in the jars because I do want that to stand out a little bit, but not as dark as the background's gonna be. So second layer will get a little bit in the jars as well, but third layer will not. We can bring a bit of that yellow ochre over more. Now that we have the 4 colors mapped out, we know that we can bring it out just a bit more. Plus it makes you giggle, as it should, as it should. So more of that yellow ochre. I don't know what color we'll do for the jars of, or the lids of the jars, but we will figure that out as we go along. All right, so now we're gonna do lemon yellow again. And the deal with doing these kind of gradients is just to take your time, layer lightly. Don't be afraid to put multiple layers, but keep in mind that once you use that blender, it's gonna start to limit you as to how many more layers you can do. That's kind of where I was at with the sky. I definitely reached my limit on the amount that I could layer. So just something to keep in mind. And also, if you are gonna use your background blender, make sure that you're not using the blender on top of the areas you haven't colored yet, because it is gonna be much more difficult for that pigment to adhere to the page if you've already laid down a waxy layer of blender. So just something to keep in mind. All right, now we're gonna get our spring green. Hi, Jordan. All right, so spring green here. I mean, I don't know when the last time was you guys got middle of the day, Emily. Like this is not, you usually get like first thing in the morning still drinking my coffee, or late at night also still drinking coffee. Because it's a healthy habit. There's nothing wrong with that. To be fair, they're usually like half calf, so it's okay. All right, a little bit more of that spring green. We're probably gonna bring some more spring green when we do our third layer more into the background there. But now we're gonna grab our grass green. Save me from folding clothes. There you go. I don't know what to do with my hands. It's completely out of the norm. I'm throwing off everybody's internal clocks. This isn't right. This isn't the morning, and it also isn't nighttime. I don't know what to do. All right, a little bit more of the grass green. Of course, anybody watching this back, see my hands are shaking a little bit. Anybody watching this back is just going to be confused because they'll be watching it at whatever normal time it is for them to watch, and they'll be like, why is everyone freaking out? Well, for future viewers that did not watch it live, it is currently 5:07 in the afternoon. This is not a normal time. Yeah, there you go. And they're half calf anyway. So, all right, we're using spring green now, and we're going to press a little bit harder. In fact, we're going to take this spring green over the grass green just a bit. But we are done coloring inside the bottles. So now the rest of this is going to go around the bottles. It's always a little tricky when you're doing glass. And obviously none of this is hyper realistic, but you know, it's realistic enough for me. All right, now we're gonna do lemon yellow. Of course. I know, Leslie, it's completely, up is down, purple is blue. Like, what is going on with the world? Next thing you know, you're gonna see a dog on roller skates. And if you do, you'll just know it's completely my fault. I apologize. I sent out a bunch of dogs on roller skates. Actually, a dog on roller skates would be adorable. As long as the dog was happy and not, you know, forced to wear the roller skates. All right, so now we're gonna do yellow ochre over here. I'm gonna press a little bit harder. Not super hard because we are still gonna blend these colors. And we're gonna be going over the jars with white as well. But the trick is to make them lighter than the background. Now, granted, because this is the yellow to green, this is naturally gonna be the lightest background that we have of all of these. And then the top one is gonna be a blue to purple. Okay, so we're just using that yellow ochre. We're gonna go back in with our lemon yellow again. Again, pressing a little bit harder, but we are avoiding the inside of the jars. We're gonna get out quite a few pencils for the jars as well. Okay, oh, this part should have been outside also. We'll put a little bit of spring green in that spot. There we go, just a bit. All right, more of that lemon yellow. And now we're getting this kind of smooth blend between the colors. And you could even use more colors than I did for this one. You could use quite a few more colors and make it an even smoother blend. 3 p.m. here. Yeah, it is 5:09 currently. All right, so spring green. Okay, around the jars. And you can see, even without adding the white yet, you can see how the jars themselves are separated from the background. Only one, and if you count half calf, it's technically 1 full cup. But no, right before this, we had a big school project for little Steve that we had to finish, and so I was in mom crafting mode with that, and then I was putting together some orders that went out this afternoon, and yeah, there was just a long list. Okay, we are not going to use our blender yet. I think I'm going to go ahead. Oh, that should have been, hang on. That should have been clear also. We're gonna go ahead and start adding the color for the rainbows. And I think we will go ahead and use our blender after we have all of that color already down. And before I do the lids, I wanna choose the jar color. So we're gonna go ahead and do in rainbow order, but because there's more than your standard 7, we're gonna add in some more variations. So this will be red, orange, yellow. We'll maybe do a lighter green, darker green, maybe a turquoise kind of blue, regular blue, indigo, violet, maybe like a magenta, and then maybe like a pink here. But we're gonna do them all different. We were at the coast yesterday. Oh, I bet it was so nice. There you go. Aw, thanks, Chloe. All right, so let's go ahead and start with red. We have some colors out already because I was using them. So let's do, this one is, we're gonna start with scarlet, and we are just gonna do either side, and we'll do a slightly lighter color in the middle. Let's see, can we zoom any further? Yeah, okay, that's as close as we are. So for this one, we're gonna start with red, and it is scarlet. It is numbered 70, and you don't necessarily need to have the Lumis to do this. You could do this with Prismacolor, Faber-Castell, any of your, I would do basically the same order, especially with the light layering. So it's really just whatever you have. We might even do a little bit of blue around the outside of the jars to kind of, you know, indicate the glass. All right, we're gonna leave that middle empty for a minute, and we are gonna go on to our orange. Hi, Marcy. Marcy, look what we're doing. Marcy, I would not be doing this one if it was not for you. All of a sudden, I had all the colors I didn't have, and I was like, I can do the rainbow room. Hi, Kara. All right, so now we're gonna do the orange, although this one isn't technically the orange. That's dark cadmium. I think there's one that's just orange, isn't it? There is. Number 30 is orange. So let's grab that. I don't think I have it out. There it is. Orange. All right, so we're gonna give this a quick little sharpen here. So red, orange, yellow, we'll do a light green. So we're gonna do the orange here. Because in my head, I was imagining that these are all of her like rainbow ingredients, and maybe she'll like add a bunch of the rainbows together. But I didn't, like I said, I didn't want to do just all the same rainbows. Although, I mean, technically you could. You've got, you know, the all the different lines. You got the 7 different lines. But I was like, no, we're gonna do one color per jar. I think that looks cute. Might be one of my favorite pages I've seen done for this book. Oh, thanks. I know, right? I do it all the time. Oh, Chloe, thank you. All right, so now let's go ahead and grab, lemon yellow is pretty bright. Let's do bismuth yellow, which we might already have. There it is, bismuth yellow. And I'm definitely pressing a little bit harder. And we can always go back and add a little bit more. In fact, what we're gonna do to make our job easier, we are gonna set the colors that we're using just right over here. You can see it in the little camera, but we're gonna separate them out so that I can easily grab them when we go back and forth. That's kind of what I did when I did a lot of these rainbow ones, just because you're literally using all the colors. Okay, so we're gonna do yellow, and we'll probably do some white. What we're gonna do for the rainbow itself, we're gonna do white to blend this together, and then we'll layer over the same color again. So there's yellow. Now we're gonna go ahead and we're going to, looks like Steve's home. And my ring camera just went off. We're gonna go ahead and give that a quick sharpen. And this is the spring green. And we're gonna go ahead and do that color here, and then we'll do the grass green next. I know, right, Marcy? I was so excited. Honestly, like yesterday, so I had a headache most of the day yesterday, and I was not feeling great. But for those of you that have migraines often, this may resonate with you. But for me personally, when I have a headache, laying down doesn't always help. In fact, it's almost like it's more muscle strain when I lay down, and that doesn't necessarily help the headache. So instead, I kind of sat up, I kept drinking water, and I just worked on this. And it was because I needed something low impact, nothing that was particularly strenuous. I could just sit at my desk and color and listen to a story. And I mean, that's pretty much all I did yesterday. I was a bit of a lump. Okay, sounds good, no worries. So yeah, I just kind of, yeah. I don't know, I used to like lay down, and unless it's like a really bad one and I need it like in the dark, sometimes it's just better for me to sit up, So my spine and neck are straight and just lots of water and all that good. Yeah, exactly. All right, so this is the grass green number 220. I feel like it's like the richest green, like a real green. If that makes sense. Okay, see right now, this honestly like reminds me of like Skittles, all the colors. Taste the rainbow. All right, so for the next blue color, we're gonna do more like a turquoise. And the color that thanks Melissa, the color we're gonna use is literally my new favorite color. I don't quite know how to pronounce it, but it's Chrysocolla blue. It's number 671. It's kind of like I call this one the, let's see, where is it? The anthracone, these two right here. It's the anthracone no one's ever gonna be able to pronounce it. Right? The what blue? It's the Chrysocolla. Chrysocolla. The Chrysa can't pronounce it blue. That's what it is. Chrysa can't pronounce it. But it's literally like absolutely gorgeous. I saw it in the box. It was the first like where my eye was drawn to first. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's so pretty. Yes, Marcy sent me some extras that she had, and I was so excited. They were colors I hadn't had for it yet, and I was like, oh my gosh, we need to use all the colors, and what better page to use all the colors than the rainbow page? So yes, we have some new pencils, some new colors. Very exciting. Okay, so we're gonna put that one here, and then we're gonna go with a very kind of rich blue. Yeah, see, it doesn't always help for that. So this is middle cobalt blue. Although, I want to do, yeah, we'll do middle cobalt. It was going to be either that or the phthalocyanine blue. Oh my gosh, they love, you know, at least it's better than like Better Cup yellow. But yeah, they love their big long words for these ones. All right, so this one is the middle cobalt blue. And then the next one, we're gonna do an indigo. But yeah, we are doing all of the colors on this. I almost feel like for this jar, what if, because it's overlapping, we're gonna take very lightly, very, very lightly, we're gonna take this and we're gonna continue it like the jar would be showing behind it. And we could always add like a little bit of gray behind it. But I feel like since it's overlapped, that one should show through just a little bit. So we're gonna, there we go. It'll still get the white on it, but I think it'll work. So now we're gonna do this one here. We're gonna keep going with that. And let's see, for this one, I think we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna continue this blue just a little bit, but we're gonna color real lightly. But I just wanna show that there is something behind it. I feel like that's needed. In fact, we'll go back and we'll add a little bit more of that overlapped green as well. Okay. Continue that along. And before we forget, let's go ahead and take the green and we are going to add a little bit where this would be overlapping. Okay, are there any other that's overlapping? This one will overlap, so we'll bring it into that. And we might overlap a little bit on there. But we're gonna go ahead and go with, let's do I want to do indigo in this one or this one? I think we're going to do indigo in this one. And there's some really great dark colors. So Indanthrone blue. Oh my gosh, you guys, I can't talk. Oh, I already have it out. There we go. All right, so now we're going to go ahead. Let's give it a sharpen because it is a super tiny bottle. Okay. And we're going to go ahead. Let's see, are we still in frame? Yes, we are. All right, so we're gonna continue this one here. I feel like it is just perfect for that indigo color. Okay. And like I said, we're gonna use white over the top of these and then we'll add our colors back in again. Sweep that little bit away. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and grab our violets. How do we find the members only picture? So if you go to the community tab and then scroll down on for my post, you'll see some posts, they should say like members only on them. But I want to say that because I posted at the beginning of this month, the members only post for the download, I think it's like 6 or 7 posts down. It might be 5 or 6, between 5 and 7. Just scroll down on the community tab. Oh, click on see perks. See, I'm just like, let me give you the hard way. There we go. Because I'm not on your side of it. I'm on my side of it. So I just scroll down and try and find it. But yes, if the C perks is there, perfect. Okay, so now we're gonna grab Violet, exclamation point Violet in chat, because Violet, you're turning Violet. Okay, so now we're gonna do Violet, and that is gonna go here. No, so message me, Alex, and I'll send you the links. But the idea is you get it for the months that you're a member, so you have to download it. You have to download. I make the exception a few times so that in case anyone missed it. But you have to download it on the month that you're a member. So whatever months you've been, I'll message you after stream and we can find out what months that you've been a member, and then we can go from there. But yeah, you get the downloads for the months that you were currently a member. Because there were also like 5 more from last year. So we have the ones from 2023 and the ones from 2022. Okay, so that was Violet. Now for this one, let's go ahead and do, what do we want to do for it? Let's do the, still can't pronounce it, the quinacridone purple? Could not tell you what that is. Okay, so 115, I think I have that. Yes, I do have that out already. Okay, so we're gonna do this one here. And that's gonna be more of like a kind of pinkish purple, which will stand out more when we use the pencil on it. Quinn works too. I like it. Deborah! Slipped through the way. Oh no! Thanks, Emily. Yes, this is impromptu. Your inner clock is not off. Okay, so this jar I feel like would continue out to here. So we're gonna very lightly add in this color here. And that will still get white over it. I know, I'm throwing off everybody's inner clock. I don't do impromptus very often. They're always on my list of, yes, I want to do this. But like I said, most Mondays, this wouldn't work because we've got too much stuff going on with the kids. But you guys are lucky, and today's President's Day, so the kids are not in school today, so we're not doing our usual run around like, you know, chicken with their head cut off, because that's totally a thing. All right, now we're gonna do 350 purplish red, and that's gonna be like a nice kind of pink, and having this pink next to the darker purple will make this one stand out more as not like a true violet. Now, are these 2 different ones? I think they are. So we're gonna add a little bit of green there where the bottle is clear. Okay, there we go. We'll do a little bit of green. Quinn is rather personal. All right, grass green there. All right, so now what we're gonna go ahead and do is we're gonna give our white a quick sharpen so we have a nice fine point. Well, with the Loomies, it is love at first sight. Are you kidding me? All right, so we're gonna go ahead and use our white here. And basically we're just smoothing out those colors. Oh, I forgot to add green on that little corner. Hang on, or not green, orange. Hang on, there we go. All right, so we're gonna use our white. And yes, this is going to lighten up the color bit. What we're using the white for is to kind of smooth out those harsh lines and kind of spread it out. And then we're gonna use our colors that we used previously over the top of the white. Hi, Pam. Yes, we're in a weird time of the day. Right, Jordan? Sometimes those filling in of those tiny circles, it is rough. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and use this white here. And then we'll do white on the rest of the jar when we have all of our rainbow colors in. So I'm kind of turning my pencil a little bit when I'm switching to a new color. But if you wanted to be careful that you weren't dragging in something like the red into the yellow, for me, like, and this is, you could keep like a towel close or an extra cloth or something. I actually just wipe my pencil, like the tip of my pencil on my pants. Oh no, hi Minty. Where do you find this page? Rainbow Room. It is in Rooms of Wonder, Johanna Basford. That is where you can find it. But yeah, so if I move it on to a new color, I'll just wipe it on my pants a little bit and just get the little bit of color off the tip. But it's not absolutely necessary. I'm also going over some of these white lines here because it's going to be behind the white jar anyway, and it just kind of helps bring everything together and kind of eliminates the starkness of the black lines a bit. All right, so we're just blending these colors with the white. And you see how some of that green is kind of getting drug into the middle? That is what we're going for. And again, you don't have to do this way. You could do it any way that you like on yours. I mean, we're wiping on my, I wipe it on my pants all the time. Oh, nice. Oh, very nice, Deborah. You have more stamina on that. I don't think I have ever finished a wall calendar. Now, granted, I've also never finished a book either. And if you saw my reel the other day, you saw how many whips I have. There are a lot. All right, so now we're gonna do the blue. Okay. You see how much that's dragging across, so it'll pop more once we get the colors placed on top of it again. Exactly, that is what pants are for. Oh, I have so many, Minty. Well, and part of it is too, is when the book came out, I did like, I did a week-long stream where we streamed every day. And so I just did like little bits. And so yeah, there's a lot of whips that at some point I need to finish. In fact, I don't usually worry too much about putting a paper behind the page that I'm working on, but I am on this one because this is another whip here. So you can see all of this color that's pressing to it. These were done with Faber-Castell. I haven't finished that page. I will at some point, but the love of the rainbow room took over. All right, there we go. And we'll make that a little bit brighter. There we go. Need to start a page. I'm like, wait, you haven't done any Rooms of Wonder yet? Alyssa, who even are you? Okay, so we're doing that little bit of white here, covering up those black lines a bit. Finished the 21 calendar. Last year's was a page here and here. This year I'll finish. Well, except for January. That's okay. That's okay. All right, so last one for the white, and then we're gonna go in with our colors again, and then we will work on the bottle itself. And we still haven't even finished the background yet. We still need to use our blender on that and our gray, so we'll get there. We'll get there. So now we're gonna go ahead, only did the nameplate page in there. Hey, that works, that works. All right, so now we're gonna use Scarlet, number 70. And we're gonna go ahead and go over what we just did. Now, when I'm bringing it out, I'm going lighter, but I'm also gonna bring it along just the bottom of it. We still want that middle highlight to stand out, but I also want this to be, you know, like, hey, this is red. I want it to be bright red kind of thing. So we're just going a line across the bottom, but then we're doing a little bit more. That one was a small one. It'll stand out more when we do the other larger ones. Demodded, oh no! Ah, good, Minty, good. All right, so now we're gonna use orange, number 30. We're gonna go along the side and along the bottom, just like we did on the previous one. So sides and along the bottom. Not necessarily the top, we're gonna stay on this side of the line, but it just gives it that little bit of depth. Now, of course, I could bring in other colors, but the way that I wanted to do this page, I wanted to do just strictly the colors that are intended for the rainbow. Okay, so I believe we used bismuth yellow. I'm gonna get a drink of water here. You're good, Marilyn. This is a totally obscure time of the day. This is an impromptu. Your internal clock, I promise, is still on point. It's me. I'm throwing everyone off. Okay, so we're gonna do the sides. Now this one obviously is a little bit harder to see because it's the yellow, but once we get the white done on the rest of the jars and we get the background, kind of the vibrancy on the background up, it'll stand out just a little bit more. Okay, we're gonna sweep that away. Now we're gonna grab the spring green again, and we're gonna do the sides. Now this one's a little bit more curved, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do on all the left sides, and then we're gonna bring it over onto the right sides. All right, so we'll start on the bottom here. We're gonna bring this up. Same thing here. We're gonna bring this line across the bottom, and across the bottom here, and just the same all the way throughout. We're pressing a little bit harder, but we're making sure that it still looks nice and blended. Now, if you wanted to go really crazy, what you could do is get gel pens and do like a green gel pen along the edge of the line. I don't necessarily want to do white lines in between each, like for replacement on each of these lines, because it's so small, unless you have a super, super fine, like this is about as fine as I have for paint pens. Unless you have like a gel pen or something that's super, super fine, then I would say go ahead, but I just don't want the white to overwhelm it. Yeah, it's totally out of the blue today. I messaged Shannon and told her, I was just like, I might do this, but I didn't want to announce it. Hi, Ronnie. I didn't want to announce it in case I couldn't get everything done that I needed to before stream time. But we're not going to do words on stream today. This is just strictly coloring, mostly because I wanted to make sure we had enough time to get this shelf done. Tanya, Appetite for Coloring, if you're not familiar with her, she's going to be on at 6 o'clock. So if you're still wanting to hang out for streams, that's somewhere you can head to. So we're going to bring this along just like we were doing the other ones. Okay. Now we will be doing a little bit more white over the tops of these when we do the rest of the jar, but it's not going to be nearly as much as it was before. Okay, so now we're going to do the Krista can't pronounce it, blue, number 671. We are using the Caran D'Ache Luminance pencils. They are gorgeous and lovely, and I was so excited, and I had to use them on the Rainbow Room because, I mean, hello. I think actually there were a number of people surprised I hadn't tackled the Rainbow Room yet, and I think I just, like, I wasn't feeling it, and I think it means that it was meant to be, that I was saving it for these pencils because, I mean, I'm loving how this is turning out. Now, this isn't going to be one that we're going to continue to live stream on, partially because I would have to wait until next month to do it. And I am excited to finish this page. And that means that if I'm excited, I should keep going with it until I get burnt out on it. But I am planning on doing another video for this part of the background so you can see how I did this. So, and that one I will do color labels and everything. So that's going to be a video at some point when I do this. So now we're going to go ahead and do the cobalt, the middle cobalt hue, or middle cobalt, sorry, I can't read, middle cobalt blue hue. Oh my gosh, that is a tongue twister. Try and say that 10 times fast. But I had some separate messages and some comments that came through that were curious how to do the background. So we're going to be doing a little mini tutorial on that. I'll probably do like a quick version of a reel on Instagram, and then do a longer with, I don't really talk during my color alongs when I pre-recorded, but mostly because, I don't know, I just come up with things to say when I'm live streaming. But but yeah, so I'll probably do no voiceover and have music, but it'll have like little annotations. Awesome, thanks Mercy. The page next to it, the ocean one or the jungle shower one? How do you shade such small areas? Any tips? Keep really fine points on your pencils and take your time. And don't be upset if you go out of line. Even now, I just kind of, my hand twitched and went out of the line there a little bit. But yeah, I just get really fine points. It's been a long time since I have used the Caran D'Ache, the Lumies in a Johanna book. I'll use the Pablo sometimes, and there were two reasons for that. One is because these are super soft pencils, and to do some of the little fine details in here, you have to sharpen it frequently. And up until the other day, I was running pretty low on my stock of these, so I used them very sporadically and very specifically before. But for this particular situation, it just seemed match made in heaven, all the beautiful colors. And so, yeah, I just keep them sharpened. If you really don't want to do a full sharpen on your pencils, what you can do is you can usually find it in the drawing. Oh, I have a sneeze coming on. Oh, is it going to? Watermelon, watermelon, watermelon. Okay, it's gone. Also, that's a trick. If you look up and say watermelon, 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 it'll make a sneeze stop. You know, side note, the more you know. What was I saying? The sneeze distracted me. I don't remember what I was saying. Ah, gotcha. Yes, for the teeny tiny bits, nice sharp. Oh, that's right. Nice sharp points. You can get in the drawing section of some art stores or hobby stores. You can get this. I have one. I don't know where it's at, but you can get a tiny little piece of sandpaper that's meant for pencils. And so you can just rub your pencil on a little bit and get that fine point without having to sharpen and lose more of the pencil that you want, which is handy for these ones that you really want to try and, you know, extend their life as long as possible. The funny thing is, though, even though I've gone through a ton of pencils, I've never thrown away a Lumi nib. I can't do it. A bunch of the white ones I didn't want to throw away, I saved them and I put them in a empty glass ball, and I used it as a Christmas ornament. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and do 350. We're gonna go right up along that edge. Okay, so we're doing the last of our colors on here. And then we're gonna start kind of doing the rest of the bottles. And then we'll finish off the background because we need to do the lids also. Okay, so first things first, I wanna go through and I wanna check if there's any other overlaps that I needed to do for the bottles. Okay, so I think we'll bring this green down just a little bit more. Let's see, is anything else overlapped? We already got the blue in there. We got that blue, that one. We should do a little bit of the pink here. Just a bit, because I have a feeling that the bottle probably goes out to here. So we're just kind of doing our own, what we think it is. But it's because I want to show that those bottles are behind it. Put mine in a jar. It's my dream to fill it all up. Oh, I like that. Kind of like those people who have those giant jars of money in their house. Like the coin, sorry, not like just money sitting around, but you know, you put your pocket change in at the end of the day. Like I have this big jar that like held apple juice for a while and put them in there. There you go, keep them in a box, right? It just seems so sad to get rid of them. Okay, I think before we do the white, oh, I didn't do the background of this. We need to get a little bit of our spring green and fill in that just very lightly. Okay, I think everybody else, this one needs a little bit of yellow behind it. There we go. Okay, so we're gonna do the lids first, but I'm feeling like the lids aren't gonna be, I don't know how colorful I want to do the lids. Hang on, let me think real quick. I didn't think as far as the lids. Let's do some silver lids and some brown ones. So let's start with the, oh, another pencil. That sneeze really wants to come out. Oh no, Minty! All the way up, but I can totally see being the kind of person who hangs on to them, right? I struggle. I don't want to get rid of them. It's like that little sound. Oh, that's a perfect reel. You know that one that's that sound bite that's going around Instagram where it says, "Don't be a hoarder. Don't be a hoarder." And it's like people with scraps of paper or materials, and then instead they're throwing it away. They say it has potential. Oh my gosh, I need to do that. I need to do that. That would be an amazing reel. Okay, so 507, Payne's Gray 60%. Used up one Caran D'Ache blender, right? I can't. Me too, Tanya. Right? You get the, right? I know, it's so heavy. I think I remember one point when I was a kid, we took ours to the bank and just handed the jar to the teller and then they ran it in the machine. But I don't know, I guess when I was a kid, they didn't always have those machines like at the grocery store that you could do them in. Okay, so we're gonna do a little bit there. We're gonna do this one. We're gonna do a little bit of a line because I want it to be kind of like a shine. So we're gonna do a little bit there, a little bit there. We're gonna come back with a silver gray. They tell me to please throw them away and say they will buy me the one I need. Okay, well, if they're willing to replace it. Right, Tanya? Okay, we're gonna skip over that one. This one's gonna be another kind of silver one. It's not gonna end up being as dark as this. It'll lighten up once we add the silver gray on it. Okay, that one's gonna be a different color. That one's gonna be brown. We'll do a silver on this one. Okay, bring that up and we're gonna go here just a bit. We've got these individual ones. We're gonna take it along the bottom. And we're gonna go on the right side of each of those sections. Okay, and let's see, this one's gonna be, silver on the bottom half. We'll do a little bit of color on the upper half. This one I don't feel like has a lid. And this one, yeah, we'll do silver on it. Okay, bring that down just a little bit. Okay, now we're gonna go in with our little friendly tiny pencil here. Let's see, where is, I'm gonna take this one out. I could recycle my cereal boxes, but what if I want to do a cereal box craft one day, right? So my kids are like that. They want to keep the box all the time. But honestly, we have a ton of empty boxes from little Emily's Girl Scout cookies, and we still have them. But the project that we did with little Steve today, I actually did end up using those. So, oh, hi kitties. Are they all panicked? Hey Steve, how are you? Tired. It's the end of the workday for Steve. All right, so now we're gonna do silver gray, and we're gonna go ahead and fill that in. We're gonna do the same here. He has to get his scratches out. Yeah, he has a scratching post in here, and Steve just opened the door, and Paul just bolted in. Was like, I must scratch on the tower in here. They hear me talking, and they're just like, they have FOMO, fear of missing out. All right, so we're going to Just go over that a little bit. It's all a little smudgy, and that's okay. You can always add a little bit more detail to it by going back in with your darker gray. Okay, so now we're gonna do this one. No white or anything, we're just using the silver gray. Let's grab the Payne's Gray again. Need to adult a little bit before Tanya. Sounds good. Enjoy your adulting. All right, so we're gonna grab that Payne's Gray one more time. And oop, that was a little snap. Exclamation point snap in chat. All right, so we're gonna add just a little bit more. I still want that to stay pretty blended through, but we're just adding a little bit of the definition that we lost when we blended with that silver. Okay, so there's that. Now we're gonna go ahead and grab a brown. Let's see, this is not the brown. That is the Carmine Lake. Exactly, what snap? I didn't hear a snap. Right, Deborah? I love the colors. All right, so we're gonna grab this bigger one just because it's easier to hold. And this is the Castle Earth. And then we're also going to get the Dark Flesh 40%. Okay. I want the Castle Earth. Hang on. Do I want the Castle Earth? Kind of leaning more towards Raw Umber. Kara, thank you. Good exclamation point hype in chat for Kara. Thank you for that. Use those handy dandy hype emotes. Thank you so much. Ooh, we're closing in on time. We got like 20 minutes left. We're gonna get it. All right, let's see. I want the Raw Umber. Umber, is that it? Yes, it is. Okay, that is 548. Thank you so much for that, Kara. So sweet. Okay. We're getting close. We're getting close. We're gonna get this done. No worries. All right, so Raw Umber. We're gonna get that here. Okay, that's kind of that's gonna show in it. Let's see. We're gonna do a little bit here. Okay, and we're gonna do this one. Gonna be a little bit brown. And you could go and just do like a ton of bright colors on the lids too. That would be just fine. Okay, and then we're gonna do the Dark Flesh 40%, 745. Okay, there we go. Not pressing super hard. We are doing brown for that. Okay, and we're gonna use a blender on top of there also. Let's go ahead and grab our Indian Throne blue. That's gonna go there. Okay, we're having a little bit of fun with a couple of these lids. Let's see, let's do the number 350 purplish red. Okay, that's gonna go across the top there. A little bit on the right side. Okay, we're going to grab the Chrysocolla, can't pronounce it blue, number 671. If my head is in the video too, I apologize. I'm trying to stay out of it. We're gonna use it on this one too. Okay, and then we're gonna use, let's see, did we get, yes, we're gonna use a little bit of white on those. Okay, let me think. We have the key still to do, but we might just use a gel pen on the key. All right, so we're gonna break out our white now. We're gonna give it a quick sharpen. Okay. And we are going to blend that across the top. We're gonna do a little bit of white on the brown there. A little bit there, not much, not a ton. We're gonna use a little bit on this one. And then also on here. Okay, now we need to go ahead and add the white for the jars. But I think before we add the white on the jars, we're gonna go ahead and use the blender on the background. And then the white on the jars will be the last thing that we do, because we're gonna do the white on the jars, and then we're gonna do the paint pen outline on them and any other highlights that we wanna add. So I'm using a pencil extender because my blender is very short, because they are very well loved. Get this swept away before we start blending all of that. All right, so now we're gonna use the blender on our background colors. And now these are pretty light, but it is gonna up the vibrancy on them. Hang on one second, chat. Okay, sorry about that. Steve was just trying to square away dinner plans here. Okay, so we're just gonna use our blender. Now, I'm not blending the colors that are on the inside of the jar because that's going to be pretty light. And I'm also trying to be careful because I don't want to drag the colors from the lids and the bottle onto it. Now, you may say, okay, well, why didn't you do the blender when you didn't have to worry about it? And that is because it's so small. I didn't want a chance laying down some of this blender on top of uncolored paper because then it was going to have a harder time. The pigment was going to have a harder time adhering to the paper. Let's see. Bye, Aaron. Thanks for hanging out. Sounds good, Dawn. All right, so we are just going to use our blender all the way through here. And I think we're going to do one more layer of color. This is very, very vibrant right now. We're not quite done yet. I believe I used a white on the color down there as well, but I don't know that this one needs it. Sometimes I'll do white on top to give it a little bit of an extra blend, but I really don't think it needs it. It's pretty vibrant. So let's go in with our gray to work on our shadow, and then we'll layer the other colors back on if we need. So we're going to grab the Payne's Gray 60%, 507 again. Now I added this because of course the back of this hutch, that's further back than the stuff. And you could add more shadow if you wanted to, but for the sake of this page, I am just going to add it kind of on the sides and on the top, because since we can't see the bottom of the shelf, that tells me that we are at a lower angle with our field of vision on this hutch. Now, of course, you know, this hutch isn't hyper realistic at all, so you'd have to be really in line with it to see it. But because we don't see any of the bottom, in my head, I'm imagining that we can see a little bit of the top, which is why it would have a little bit of shadow. We winter storm watch up already for the day. Oh my goodness, no, it's 80 today and humid. It was ridiculous. I mean, I know it's Texas, but still, it's like, come on. Everybody else is getting snow. Just a little bit. I was really hoping for snow this year, but I think we're far enough along that ship has sailed a little bit. All right, so we're gonna be using the blender to smooth out the edge of that gray, but before we do that, we're gonna go in with a little bit more color. So we're gonna grab the yellow ochre, and that actually might smooth that out enough. We might not need to use the blender because I don't want a really harsh gray line. I still want it to be there to act as shadow, but I also really want these colors to be just as vibrant as the ones below. So I am pressing a little bit harder now, still not going over the jars again. Okay, but we are gonna blend these other colors. So that's about it for the yellow ochre. Now we're gonna go ahead and grab the lemon yellow again. Well, Tanya, I would have been a little surprised if you got it where you're at. Winter storm warning from yesterday. Oh my goodness. We even scheduled to snow up here this week. Oh my goodness. Right, Marcy, that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, I'd almost be hurt if Tanya got it and we didn't. And we're more likely to get snow than Tanya. This is not fair. I'm a big baby. I know, life's not always fair, but I wanted snow, dang it. I'm gonna be real sad if we never get snow while we're living in this house. I don't know when we're moving, but if we don't get it, it's gonna be sad. Now I put a little gray. We might put a little bit of gray behind these, just a tiny bit, but we're gonna do the top part first. Right, Marcy? Wait, so if you're gonna get snow, that's cool. All right, so let's see, spring green. Like, it's gonna be so warm here. It is not going to be cold, I say with quotes again, until like Tuesday next week. Like, it's just kind of ridiculous. Mother Nature is very confused. All right, spring green. Now let's go in with that grass green just a bit. You see how vibrant that is now? Hi, Frederica. This is much more vibrant and stands out immensely in comparison to the jars. Now I'm going out of the lines a little bit, but that's just because my hands are extra tremory today because I've been doing too much. So yours will be better than that. All right, so now we're gonna use a little bit of that gray right here. Not behind the jars though, I'm gonna avoid that because we are about to use that white anyway. So let's get a little bit of the blender, just a tiny bit. There we go. All right, now we're gonna do the white on the jars. Now, here's the thing. I don't wanna completely erase, like smudge out some of the vibrancy that we have on these jars already. So here's what we are going to do. We're gonna take our white, and first of all, you know what? I think I wanted to add, no, I'm not gonna worry about the blue. I'm not gonna worry about the blue.
we're gonna go ahead and take our white and we are going to completely use this to blend the colors that we put for the background behind it. And when we're done looking at it as a whole, it should look like the gradient is kind of showing through the glass as well. We also have these sparkles within the jar, so we're gonna be doing that. Now see, you got this nice green, this little bit of green that stands out, but that's because it looks like the jars are overlapped, which is the goal we were going for. Now, you can go ahead and go over the edges of the jars. Pretty much all of these black lines are gonna be kind of whited out anyway, but if you wanted to bring some of your white up over the edges, that is what I did for those jars down there at the bottom. So now we're gonna blend this one, going over those lines as well. Now, one of the things you could do if you were doing this, if you wanted an idea for it, we're also gonna be going over that right there, is you could do like a little glow behind the jars by putting lighter colors in the background, but honestly, my brain just didn't brain all of that, and so this is what we got. This is what I saw in my head, and that's about as far as it went. Going over those lines just a little bit. Okay, so we're blending that. Now, we're not done with this white pencil yet. We're still gonna add a little bit more, but we are doing the basics first, and that is to lighten the colors that we put behind the jars and to just, in general, make it look, you know, clear, see-through. That's the goal. I know, Deborah. I was so tickled this week. Marcy, I don't think I told you, but I literally audibly like wowed in the post office and was just like, ah. And I think people in the post office thought that I was crazy. It's only a little bit crazy. All right, so here's what I want to do with the white. I'm going to go ahead. Hi, Celeste. How are you? I'm going to go ahead and give it a quick sharpen because I want a fine point. And what we're gonna go ahead and do is down the side of this, not right up along the edge, but down the side of it. And this is all subtle stuff, but I feel like doing all the little things really kind of makes it pay off in the end. We're just doing a little bit of a line down the side of the jar. Now, of course, I don't wanna drag that red into the yellow, so I wipe that on my pants, but it stands out more because you're covering those white lines. Like I said, it's really subtle, but it's just that little bit of extra kind of oomph that you're doing for, and yes, I said oomph, that you're doing for the jars that adds that little bit of depth to the jars themselves. So just that little bit. Now this one's pretty covered, so it's not gonna have a ton, but I do still want it to have some, especially on these darker colors, that extra little highlight stands out quite a bit more. Now I'm just wiping this on my pants between each one. Sounds good, Jordan. And so let's see, let's do over here for the highlight for that one. And same thing with this pink one and that one there. Okay, so next we're gonna go ahead and this will be gel pen, so we're gonna do that last. I won't get to the gel pen around the hutch. How are we doing on time? We've got like 8 minutes, so let's see. Mods, can one of the mods grab the link to Tanya's channel so people can head there next? We still got like, what is it, 7 minutes? We got time. We'll finish it, no worries. All right, we're gonna make sure that this is primed all the way. Okay, there we go. We're all good. And this is the Arteza acrylic fine nib pen. Now, I'm gonna start to outline these, but if my hands are too shaky, I'll need to come back to it and do it later. I can't just like lay it down and just draw, like my hands just don't allow me to do that. Okay. Okay, it's not doing too bad. We're doing like a little sketchy thing. Okay, so we've done those little highlights. Thank you, Shannon. Oh, that's right. I have a command for her. That works. But next to the highlight we did with the pencil, we're gonna go ahead and continue that with just a little bit of the white paint pen. Okay, so we're gonna bring this down. Okay, just a little bit of that highlight. Okay. Sorry, I get quieter when I'm in concentrate mode. There we go. Okay, I think we'll switch to gel pen here so we can get the rest of these in here because I think you are getting the point of the white on the bottles. Okay, so let's grab out our gel pen. Okay, and I'm going to use, where did I set? Oh, I put them away, go figure. All right, I'm gonna use the Sparkle Pop gel pens, or not Sparkle Pop, Super Glitter gel pens because I love me some glitter. So we are gonna go ahead and whatever color, that's what color the sparkles are gonna be in the middle. But first things first, we're gonna do the key. Do we wanna do a silver key? I feel like we're gonna do a silver key because if I do gold, I feel like it's just gonna disappear. So I would highly recommend waiting until, like, save the gel pen for the last thing. Otherwise, if you're anything like me, you might smear it. But a lot of these are so small, you don't really need to bother with too much. They're so awesome. Minty, you can get them on Arteza, but I know they sell out like quickly. All right, so we're gonna use the orange. Let's see, some of these, here we go. Need to get them working. Oh, I got a little bit of the white. Okay, though. All right, so I'm gonna use the orange. So I want matching sparkles in these for the color that they're supposed to be. So now we're gonna grab the red. Okay. There we go. Now I have gold, but I'm pretty sure I also have a yellow. Yeah, here we go. So this is the gold, this is the yellow. We're gonna use the yellow. Sounds good, Heather. Thanks for being here. All right, so now we're going to, is this one gonna work for me? Sometimes when it's a little waxy, you gotta give it a little bit of a roll. That is not showing up too much. I might revisit that a little bit later. Yeah, we could do gold because it's going on there, but it's not standing out enough. Yeah, there we go. Gold's probably the best idea here. There we go. There's the gold. All right, and then let's grab our light green because we have a light green. We have a few different greens. We have like this dark, light, medium. So we're gonna go with the light one. And then I'm gonna go ahead and this one here, is it gonna work? So nice and, like I said, I don't remember if I said it a second ago, but if you have like a really waxy surface, sometimes it takes the gel pens a little bit to get going. I'll probably go over this again later once I've had time to kind of sit, but you get the idea. So the rest of these will all get the white outline with the little highlight. I might add a little bit more shadow, and I may even add, even though we have the white on here, one of the things you can do to give it just a little bit more depth is, let's grab a slightly lighter gray. This is good. Okay, so this is something I'm probably gonna add on to the rest of them as just a finishing touch here. We're gonna give it a nice fine point. Rather than blue, you can go ahead and grab some gray, and this is slate gray number 495, and I'll show you an example right here. Even though we've already done the white and the gel pen, what you can do is take just a little bit, and we're gonna put it along the left side of the jar. See, I'm scraping up some of that because it wasn't dry completely, so I'll have to go back and fix it. But you can put that along the jar, you can put a little bit on this side, and then you can use your blender to kind of smooth it out. And do you see how that's given it just a little bit more depth? So same thing on this side, we can take the gray, add a little bit here, and like I said, I'll probably take my time and add it a little bit more, but do you see the difference now? That it's just giving it that little bit of shadow. It doesn't need to be overwhelming, but it's just that tiny bit of shadow to help build it up. All right, I am amazed that we basically got that all done in like these, some odd hour that we were doing this. So, woo. I may even add just a little bit of the Indian Throne Blue just to make that back kind of separate really from the jars. But I mean, this is where we're at with this page here. So I'm going to film separately the background. You messed up somewhere. No, Kenny, you're good. This was completely impromptu. Like, I wasn't even sure if I was going to be able to get it done. Like, I think Shannon's the only one, only because I was just like, I might do this, but I don't know. Plus, I was already talking to her. So yeah, no one knew. I was just like, ta-da, we're live. Everybody's internal clocks are like thrown off. So no, this was completely impromptu. I might also add a little bit of that gray behind the jars that are overlapping. But see, this is what happens. It's like I sit and I, no, Deborah, don't tell her that. Okay, well, I'm gonna wrap it up here because it's 5:59. Thank you everyone for being here and hanging out with me. Kara, thank you again for your super chat. That was my super quick, this is what I'm doing with this page. Look for a little tutorial. Whenever I get to this back part, I'll go ahead and get that posted, and we'll probably post a reel for it also. But we are going to be live Wednesday morning like normal. We're going to be doing the second half of the February streaming and everything. There's going to be giveaways. I'll probably start another sale that day. But head on over to Tanya's right there, Appetite for Coloring. You can type in !Tanya. That'll be the link to her channel. But that was my quick little brief tutorial overview with this little section of the rainbow room. All right, everyone, keep being awesome. I will chat with you later. And yeah, I'll see you Wednesday. Bye. Hang on, hold on. Where is it? There it is. Bye.